You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the Powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning. It's always a great Saturday to talk sports here from the Powerhouse on Broadway, WMIX. Of course, online today at WMIXsports.com. It is a Saturday sports show. It is powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Jeff Crow is in studio with us as well. Busy lineup coming your way today as we talk midwinter tournaments. Of course, tournaments that have already happened, tournaments going on right now, and tournaments forthcoming. Of course, we'll talk with Mount Vernon Rams head basketball coach Scott Gamber. Rams had a road loss last night to the Centralia Orphans, 54-45. You heard it on WMIX 94.1. You listened to it on WMIXsports.com. We will also talk with Deirdre Dagg. Wayne City Lady Indians, of course, were champions of the Midland Trail Conference Tournament. We'll talk about that effort. We'll talk about their season to this point. We'll also talk with Matt Patterson. His team, the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals, actually finished in third place in the Midland Trail, but vying for a championship today in the Sandoval tournament. They will play the modern-day freshman team. That'll be later on this afternoon. We'll talk with Coach Patterson about that. We'll talk with Jeff Lonan. He is the head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. We'll talk with Coach Lonan about his team's effort this week. Had a tough loss at home on Thursday night, but got a good road win on Monday night against the Althoff Crusaders. His team is 5-1 in South 7 Conference play. We'll also talk about the Carbondale Midwinter Tournament coming up this coming week for Lady Rams basketball. Then it's a slew of ADs, of course. We'll talk with Ryan Miller. He is, of course, the athletic director at Benton Consolidated High School. We'll talk about the annual Benton Invitational Tournament coming up. We'll talk with Neil Hammond, of course, of Nashville. The NIT is this week. We'll talk with Kurt Simon of Carmi White County. He's the AD there. Of course, we'll talk about the CWC IT coming up this week, and then we'll talk with Richie Williams. He is the athletic director, of course, at Sparta. And, of course, we'll talk about the Sparta Invitational Tournament. With Scott Gamber, of course, we'll come talk of the Salem Invite. That's this coming week as well. And we'll try to slip in some other tournaments as well. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. You can also find us on the Twitterverse as well at WMIX Sports. We're working on getting the WMIX Sports social media question of the week up. It's a good question this week, I think. It is up.
There.
It's there. What's the exact verbiage this week? Are we going to wait till our first guest?
You got to wait till the first guest.
There we go. Why break tradition now? Of course, we do have a loaded scoreboard from last night on WMIXsports.com. Check it out or hear it right here.
South 7 last night. Game you heard on WMIX. Centralia beat Mount Vernon 54-45. Althoff beat Marion at home 66-51. Carbondale with an impressive win at Cahokia 79-68. Midland Trail, Wayne City beat Clay City 48-40. Ohio Division, Harrisburg over Heron on the road, 67-65 in a flash. Murfreesboro at home beat Benton 66-48, and Frankfort beat Massac 62-54. River to River, Mississippi, AJ beat Sparta 55-51. Carterville over DuQuoin 55-38, and Carterville over Pinckneyville 55-38 on the road, and Nashville beat DuQuoin 29-23. Black Diamond, El Dorado beat Vienna 42-39. Fairfield over Carmi 65-32. Johnston City beat McLeansboro, also known as Hamilton County, 68-55. Goreville over Christopher 86-74, and SV beat ZR 50-42. For more scores, and there are a ton of them down the list, go to WMIXsports.com, click on the Scores tab, and you'll see everyone from last night in order, based by conference and month, day, and year.
There you go. It's organized, I like to call it, WMIXsports.com. We hope you'll check it out early and often. We'll also have a scoreboard tonight. In fact, if the date happens to fall between August and June and there is a local sport going on, we'll do our darndest to make sure we have that score for you on WMIXsports.com. Of course, Scott Gamber, the Mount Vernon Rams, coming up here on the Saturday Sports Show. We'll talk about last night's game. You heard it on WMIX 94.1. You listened to it on WMIXsports.com. And if you'd like, the archive was up as soon as the game was over last night, so feel free to check that out at WMIXsports.com as well. We need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports Show, catch up with some sponsors, and we'll have Scott Gamber after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic-trained Dr. Tegpal Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crown View in Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
With the housing market picking up and rates still low, now's the perfect time to purchase a home of your dreams. Hi, this is Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist from People's National Bank. People's National Bank has several different programs to choose from to help get you in the home of your dreams. Stop by and see me, Joy Schrader, or apply online at peoplesnationalbank.com today.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
The new 2014 Malibu has been redesigned, and what a fantastic car. It's got more rear leg room than the previous model. It's got a redesigned front end and rear end. It's a quiet riding car. The fuel economy is one of the best in its class. The ride handling is remarkable. People really like Chevrolet MyTouch. The technology that goes into the Malibu is really second to none.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Into the lava, and I'm drinking from going under. Baby, who turned the temperature hotter? 'Cause I'm burning.
And welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Last night, tough one for the Mount Vernon Rams on the road at Centralia at the CHS Arena. You heard it on WMIX 94.1 and WMIXsports.com. They fell to the Orphans 54-45. We welcome the head coach of Rams basketball, Scott Gamber. Scott, good morning.
Morning. How are you guys doing?
You know, pretty good. Rams, of course, since we've talked to you, got a win against Northwest Academy last week. Go on the road, a tough one against the Centralia Orphans last night. I know it's a 1-1 split, but not much time now as you have a little bit of a shorter period as you look to the Salem Invitational Tournament, where, of course, you will have the Wildcats on Thursday at 8:30 to open up tournament play. But all in all, you get a big win at home on Saturday night and then a tough loss last night on the road. But from what it sounded like the Rams played very, very well at times last night at the arena.
Yeah, had some positives last night and some negatives. Going into the game, especially with how we played, at Carbondale and with how we played at Centralia over the last year and everything. If you'd have said with a minute and a half to go in the game, it's going to be a 1-point game, we would have taken that in a heartbeat. We gave ourselves a great opportunity to win the game. It's just when we get in that situation, we've got to do a better job. And I felt like we had been down 13 and we got it to 1, and they should have been the team that took a couple panic shots, and they should have been the team that struggled, and it's us. We did a very poor job after the free throws. We blew an assignment on a switch that they had with our pressure, and then nobody rotated over. We gave up an easy basket, but still, it's just a 3-point game, and there's 50 seconds to go. We're still right there. And we took back-to-back really poor shots, unneeded shots that there was no reason to take that quick. If there's 15 seconds, it's one thing, but with 55, you just can't shoot those shots in that situation. And we end up having to foul, and it ends up being a 9-point game. But really proud of our kids for battling and putting themselves in a position to win. We just got to do a better job of finishing it out.
I thought last night watching your team, obviously nervous energy for a long time in the first quarter, kind of found their legs, and Trey goes on a run a couple times. really impressed with, one, the business demeanor of your team going in and taking business, and two, not backing down. I know it's a rivalry, but talk about how you thought your team handled the adverse situations many times last night to battle back 2 or 3 times, and last time by double digits to get back to within 3 at the end.
Yeah, that's something I've been scared to death about after last Friday. I mean, we did not compete last Friday. It's something that we've really tried to emphasize, and that's, after the game, probably the most proud thing I was the fact early in the game, like you said, we were really struggling. We had a lot of nervous energy. The fact that we did not play well, but we hung in the game, and that's what we had really been upset with, the fact that we had not been doing that earlier. Earlier in the year, just last week, when we didn't play well, we got down big, and I thought our kids did a nice job of, when they were really struggling, finding a way to gut it out and just to stay to where they were within striking distance. I thought we did a better job of, when things weren't coming very easy offensively, not just forcing the issue over and over. I thought we ran a little more clock. And I think on the road against good teams, early in the game, you have to be a little more patient to kind of let yourself get in the game, especially with an atmosphere like last night. I mean, last night was a great atmosphere. They had a great crowd. We had a really nice crowd. You just need to let the game come to you a little bit. Jake Wood's a heck of a player. He was a really tough matchup for us all night. We had 4 different guys try to guard him, and he had a lot of success on all 4 guys. He's a really tough matchup for us. He's so good at what he does. And then the thing that makes Centralia, the 2 things that make Centralia good, one, they play good defense. But the thing that makes Centralia good on offense is they have a really good player like Jake Wood. For us, we struggle guarding him because we don't have much size. So he is so effective inside around the post, and then he's such a good shooter. But they surround him with 4 guys who can really shoot the basketball. So you really have to pick your poison with who do you help off of, how do you help off of them. Because when you put, they have 5 guys pretty much at all times that can shoot the crap out of the basketball. When you have that, it makes things pretty tough.
Without giving too much top secret stuff away, whether it's last night's game or any other games, when you're in this situation, you mentioned there's a matchup problem. What's the theory for you as far as, do you give up something? How much do you give up to guard that guy? Or are you looking to, sell out and put all in on that guy trying to stop him? What do you do theory-wise? Is it game-to-game, player-to-player, or how does that work?
Yeah, we try to pick. Last night we tried to pick 1 or 2 guys to really help off of in the perimeter and try to help on him on the inside. I thought we did an okay job on the inside. The thing that we did not do very good last night is, in their offense, they do such a good job setting those down screens for Jake Wood. 3 different times, Jake hit a 3 off of a down screen. I thought all 3 times the guy guarding the screener could have helped the guy get through, and all 3 times the guy guarding the screener was flat, did not get out. It's hard. Centralia runs their stuff really well. They're real efficient with it. And you can get through that screen 4 or 5 times in a row, and they'll just keep running it, and eventually they get a pretty good look. And you got to give the credit to Jake. I don't think Jake got many good looks last night, but every time he seemed to get a decent look, he knocked it down.
And last night I thought, as we went to the end of the third quarter, halftime, but first off, is that play in the playbook for that spinning 3-point one-hand shot?
That was nice. That was a big shot at the time. Big difference between being down 8, being down 5. And Coach Bennett Coach Bennett had a great plan on that. There's 3.2 seconds to go. We've got to go full court. He told his kids to foul Braden Fitzgerald as he's dribbling, because they only had like 3 team fouls.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to foul. They have 2 guys come to try to foul him, and Braden was able to split it. I think the other 3 kids on their team were expecting there to be a foul made, so they kind of let their guard down. Braden split it. He kind of got bumped, and he made a huge shot because that, it had been about a 5-point game, 4 or 5 point game, and then we let them go on a little run there, and that got us back to within 5. And outside of one little stretch there, late in the third, early in the fourth quarter, well, we played a good second half, but
I looked at last night when you were down. You hit that shot at half, and I'm like you. That made a huge difference being down 8 or being down 5 instead of 8. The second half, the adjustments happen, things start feeling out again. It was like 2 different halves. Talk to the rebounding, because I thought your guys did a pretty good job considering a lot of spots. The rebounding height, length were a disadvantage to your team last night.
Yeah, I was proud of our rebounding. I thought we did a much better job on that. I thought our guards rebounded better. I still think there's some times when maybe we need to finish out the play a little more. When our guys, we've done such a poor job this year of boxing out. I thought a few times last night we did a really good job of boxing out, and then we don't go attack the ball and get it. But I thought rebounding was a strength of ours last night for the most part. We got several second chance opportunities, and then I thought our pressure at times bothered them a little bit there at the end. We went zone pressure a couple times, and we went man pressure a lot, and it sped them up a little bit. We didn't get a lot of steals out of it, but it sped them up. It had them take a couple quick shots that I bet they probably wish they didn't take. Those didn't go in, and with where I was at, my angle, Jake Pike's 3 when he got fouled, I mean, that did everything but go in. That was down in the cylinder and popped out. That's to beat us Centralia at Centralia. We needed to make a few more perimeter shots last night. We needed to finish around the basket a little bit better, but we still had a chance. It's just you hate to put yourself in a spot like that and not be able to get it done, because it's so hard in our league with what we are this year to have chances to win conference games. And when you have a chance to win a road conference game against a team that's as good as Centralia, you have to find a way to do it. And we just came up short.
Okay, from last night, of course, a few days off, of course, for you playing the Salem Invitational Tournament, historic tournament. You played in it, you've coached in it now. You open up with the Salem Wildcats. That's a tough draw to try to open up with the team that hosts the tournament on their floor on Thursday night.
Yeah, Salem's a team that we're pretty familiar with because we've played them and we've seen them play a lot. They're an intriguing team to me because at the beginning of this year, you look at all that they had coming back. I mean, they basically had their entire team from last year coming back. They are an extremely senior-laden team. They've got size. They've got a couple kids that can shoot it. I thought that they were going to be just a nightmare this year. They beat Marion the second game of the year. We play them the third game of the year. For 2.5 quarters, they gave us everything we wanted and more, and then we were able to pull away and to win comfortably in the fourth quarter and everything. But they've been an up and down team. I mean, T-Town beats us by 14. Salem beats Mattoon by 15. Mattoon beats T-Town by 20. And then last night, through 3 quarters of play, Salem has 9 or 11 points against Effingham. So they're an up and down team, but the thing that we've got to worry about is they've got tough matchups for us. The Conklin kid is a really tough matchup for us because he's a lot. I'm not going to compare him to Jake Wood because Jake Wood is a conference MVP kid, but Conklin's got size. He can shoot it. He can drive. And then they've got some nice pieces around him. So our kids cannot look at, we beat them by 27. They're not playing very good right now because on any given night, especially at their place, they're more than capable of putting together a really good night and beating us. We're nothing we're nothing special. We are not good enough to just show up and beat anybody. So we're going to have to make sure that we're really ready for that game. We want to do whatever we can to get a chance to play Edwardsville.
And speaking of Edwardsville, that's a team that the Rams have always played tough, regardless of their level of strength. Of course, you look at that game possibly on a Friday night if you can get past Salem. How do you feel about playing a team like Edwardsville? They are strong coming in, but like I said, the Rams have always played Edwardsville tough.
I mean, I think you want to play the best people possible, and they're 16-1, and got the kid going to SIU, and then the Roundtree kid that I'm sure will go Division I, and I'm really going to try to build that up this week. Is if you take care of business Thursday night, you're going to get a chance to play one of the better 4As, a team that got third in state last year. It'd be great just to get that chance. Coach Waldo does a really good job, but it'd be nice to get. The last 2 years in a row, we've been in the losers bracket of the Salem tournament. We need to go the other way. We need to get a chance to play on Friday night and to take a chance at a really, really good team. They got beat for the first time last night by Alton, who's very good, and Edwardsville led pretty much, I think, the whole game until the end.
Final question for you as we wrap up here, and you got a busy day. Our final question, there's a WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch for the rest of time, what team would it be?
Oh, the Cardinals.
Okay.
Cardinals, yeah, definitely.
You gave up on the hooded sweatshirt.
Like a lot of other teams, but absolutely love the Cardinals.
You gave up on the hooded sweatshirt pretty easily there.
Well, like I said, I like the Patriots, but I think it's baseball fans, and I don't know. I mean, we've got it pretty good. Got a team like St. Louis, the Cardinals in our backyard, and go to a lot of games, and nice. What did you guys say for that one?
Mine's going to be
didn't
Kentucky.
Say like the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, mine's going to be Kentucky basketball.
Mine's going to be the Cardinals just because I'm too fair-weathered for anything else, to be honest.
Yours is what?
The Cardinals. I'm just too much of a fair-weather guy for everybody else.
Yep.
Well, don't get me wrong, I love my teams, but it's like I don't get to watch the Colts every game because of territorial restrictions. So it's like I can live without seeing them a time or two, but it's like if I don't know what's going on and with Cardinals baseball or a chance to make fun of my fellow best fans in baseball, as they say.
Hey, I got to ask this Cardinal fan, how are you going to enjoy Tim McCarver next year?
Yeah. Well, I saw a stat. Clayton Kershaw, what's he making next year? How many million a year?
A lot.
And then I think he's making like $24 million next year, and then the Cardinals rotation is making $29 million. So
that's not bad.
No.
Not bad at all. Scotty, we know you have a busy day, of course. The Salem tournament, one of the favorite places to go, is coming up this week. Good luck to the Rams, and we will see you on Thursday night.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
That's Scott Gamber, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. You can watch and listen to any Rams archive we have at WMIXsports.com. Check it out. Last night's game is up. We'll take a break, come back. We'll talk with Deirdre Dagg, head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, here on the Saturday Sports Show. Powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers, asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
Complete. That's the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois with a full sports medicine clinic, state-of-the-art MRI, a spine care team that focuses on pain management, arthroscopy specialists offering total joint replacement, hand surgery, and complete rehabilitation services. Doctors Chow, Hool, Ahn, Kowalski, Freehill, and Smith stand ready to serve you today with offices in Mount Vernon and Centralia and satellite offices in Benton and Nashville. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zawinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Jeff Crow in studio with us as well until 10 o'clock here on a Saturday morning. Our next guest, of course, her team, Midland Trail Conference Tournament champion. She is the head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, Deidre Dag. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
You know, it has to be a great morning, great week. I know you had the game against Hamilton County, of course, on Thursday, but looking past that, looking beyond that, back to last week, the Midland Trail Conference Tournament, you head in as a 3 seed, able to get a win over Sandoval in the semifinal. Then you beat North Clay on their home court on Saturday night. Have to be feeling pretty good to take home that tournament title.
It was a great tournament for us. We were ready to go. Our past experience with playing that Fairfield tournament, I think helped a lot because most of the teams weren't prepared to play back to back, and we had done it a couple of times this year. So we're ready, and the girls are super excited about it. I do believe it's the first conference tournament that Wayne City Lady Indians have won, so it's a big deal for them.
Looking at that competition, you mentioned playing set back-to-back games on the same day. Mentioned the Hamilton County tournament, the Fairfield tournament, the toughened schedule. How does that prepare you? Obviously, with you play tough non-conference, getting back into conference play, you're playing teams of your own size enrollment-wise.
Thursday night we played Hamilton County again, and I told the girls, we've talked about it all year, that it will come back to us. I know it was a tough couple of weeks, the Hamilton County tournament, the Fairfield tournament, and their heads were down, and it was really tough, and I kind of questioned what I was doing. But then after we played that tournament, they realized that they were actually getting better, and they were more prepared for that than what the other teams were, because we played the tougher tournaments and we played the tougher teams, and Thursday night was our last time that we have to play a team that is that much bigger than us, and the girls are ready to move on and be ready for our conference.
You had to deal with a little bit of adversity last week. The cold weather the weekend before came in, and, of course, Wayne City has a no school, no play, no practice policy. Then you had to go right into that tournament. What was that like for your team to not get the practice time, to get back into the groove and be able to go so quickly win that tournament?
Well, actually, Wayne City is a no play, no game, but we can practice. So we did have practice. I think the only day we did not practice was Monday when it was so bad out. I'm not one to get the girls out on the road. A lot of them have their license now, and as a mother as well, I wouldn't put my daughter in that, driving in that situation either. So we did not practice on Monday, but we did practice the rest of the week. We came in, and most girls, either their parents can bring them in, or they can get here. They live in town. So we did get to practice. I know the other teams. I know Sandoval did not get to practice. I think they practiced one time, she said, through that. So it was. It makes it really tough, and not to 14 days, I think, is what it was before we played again. That's a long time to be practicing and not playing any games. So it was tough to knock off some of the rest. That first half against Sandoval, you could tell we weren't at par. But the second half, we came out and we made some big shots, and some girls that don't normally score stepped up and made some big shots for us. So it looks promising. We are definitely excited about this next week coming up.
Well, and of course, before we get to next week, you had somewhat of an advantage in having those 2 games in the same day by being able to get a better look at North Clay, of course, when they played Woodlawn in the semifinal. Did having that situation in front of you help you better prepare for the Lady Cardinals, of course, in that championship game?
It did, yes. I always want to. I try to to go out and scout as much as I possibly can. I don't get to as much as I want to, but being able to watch them was definitely a help, and a help for the girls as well. Not that we don't know, North Clay is loaded with seniors, so we have played those girls for several years now. We all know each other pretty well, but it's always nice to refresh your memory and to see what they do and be ready for that. And Woodlawn played, just an amazing tournament as well. I've seen them play 2 times before, and watching them at North Clay, they're a totally different team. They look so good. Matt is really getting them ready for the next step as well.
Last final question for you as we get ready to go to our WMIX social media question of the week, and this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch for the rest of time, what team would that be?
That is like the hardest question ever, I do believe. I watch all sports, like random lacrosse. There's anything that's on the TV is sports bound. Justice and I sit there for hours and can watch any kind of sport there is. But I can't say that I could do without my Duke basketball. So that's probably what I know that gets you fired up. But I don't think I could live without watching Duke basketball and supporting Coach K. And yeah, that's probably my answer. I probably couldn't do without it.
Thank goodness Coach Gerlach's over there to keep you neutralized.
Oh, no. I can't do that UK stuff. That's the wrong blue. You have to have the Duke blue.
He is speechless right now.
I know he is.
It's going to be an interesting hour and 21 minutes as we head until 10 o'clock.
It's okay. UK's, I think they're still ahead on the national championship, right? They have more than anybody else.
We have 8. UCLA has 11.
Oh, that's UCLA. You're right. Well, they got a few years. If they could get some freshmen that would stay and not leave just right off the bat.
See, you're breaking up in my headset. I'm hearing nothing.
I hear ya.
Coach, obviously, a big week coming up for you guys. Good luck to the Lady Indians, and we will see you soon on the showcase.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's Coach Deidre Dag, Wayne City Lady Indians. DC still looks a little bamboozled on his face, but that's going to happen when you ask that type of question. Still a busy lineup coming for you. We'll see what Matt Patterson says on the WMIX Sports social media question, of course. If you can only watch one sports team for the rest of time, which team would it be? Answer us on Facebook. Chime in on the discussion, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We'll take a break. This is a Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. We have one of the hottest car lines in the industry with the Ford Fiesta, Focus, and Fusion. The Ford brand was the top-selling brand in the United States in 2013, and we at Ford Square are determined to make that happen again in 2014. Ford is number one because the Fusion hugs, curves, and embraces fuel efficiency. The Focus is your friend at the pump and your love on the road. And the Ford Fiesta is taking fun and efficiency further. We have over 40 of these cars in stock right now waiting for you. We can offer huge cashback savings and want to deal. We will do anything to make 2014 even better and keep Ford number one. Come see our associates at Ford Square, 1501 Broadway, Mount Vernon, Illinois, and we will show you why the best never rest. You can always view our new and pre-owned inventory online at fordsquare.com.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXSports.com with Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
There you go. Working on getting Matt Patterson for you here on the Saturday Sports Show. Lady Cardinals, of course, of Woodlawn, finished in third place in the Midland Trail Conference, so they have their sights set on a championship today. In the Sandoval tournament, of course, in the championship game, I believe at 2 o'clock at Sandoval, they'll play the Mater freshmen.
It's an interesting matchup because I think when you look at it, you know Woodlawn's a smaller school than Mater Dei. Their school district's definitely smaller. But the idea of saying, oh, my gosh, we got to play a freshman team. Now, obviously, Mater Dei's a lot bigger, but playing a freshman team, you may be going, oh, man, if we lose, more pressure on Woodlawn because they could lose to a freshman team. But really, Woodlawn's made up of a lot of freshmen themselves. So, very interesting matchup, and good for Woodlawn to get in the championship game of this tournament with the young team they have to experience championship tournament day feelings.
Well, and a team that's gotten a whole heck of a lot better over the course of the season. Of course, getting some of that game experience, and the time we saw them at DuQuoin open up the year, and from the time we saw them, I believe we last saw them against Weber. And just a much improved team. It showed last week in the Midland Trail Conference tournament. Of course, they almost knocked off number 1 North Clay, lest we forget that, and almost played Wayne City in the championship game. But they got third place, and they will play for a championship today. We welcome Matt Patterson. He is the head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? We were just talking about from the start of the year, talking about how young your team is. Many freshmen. You're playing a freshman team today in a tournament title game. Before we talk about that tournament, your team has improved immensely from the start of the season till now, and I believe a lot of that credit is due to you, but not only that, the diligence of your girls, and it just seems like things are rolling along well for the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals right now.
Yeah, we played really well since Christmas break, and there's really not one thing to really point to. I think a lot of it's just the maturation of some of the young kids, and there's really not a lot of experience, so we've gained it pretty quick, and I think the game's starting to slow down for them a little bit.
What part of the season so far, you mentioned the game slowing down a little bit, what part of the season did you start seeing some of your freshmen and younger players kind of going, yeah, I can play at this level, things are starting to go my way a little bit, I can be successful and get things going?
I think the Setzer game was big. A lot of our kids knew how good they are and how old they are, and we stayed in that game and battled a little bit, and you could kind of start to see it click a little bit after that. But I don't know, North Clay, we got down early in that first half. I think we were down 15, and they kind of had during a timeout, they kind of got together, and, we battled and fought back in. So I'd say just a couple different times over the year, now their confidence level's a lot higher and starting to come together a little bit.
Couple of big wins this week against two teams not very familiar with, and obviously played very well to get to this point. How much confidence does your team have right now at this point of the season compared to, say, maybe around Christmas or a little before?
Our confidence is really high, and you can tell with the play of some of our kids that have really stepped up. Allison England has been huge, really played well since Christmas break, and, kind of found her role in the team and played really well and done a good job of leading us. But, the confidence is really high, and it's starting to show, but they still also understand that our margin of error is pretty small, and they still got to come out and play hard.
Come out and play hard today. You're playing a freshman team from Mater Dei, and obviously Mater Dei is a bigger school than Woodlawn, but any sense of pressure your kids might feel today playing against a freshman team instead of maybe another varsity team in a title game?
Yeah, we're a little worried about that. Them thinking, that would be a bad loss, and we've tried to explain to them that's still a good ball club, and they've walked in and beat Sandoval, who was a 2 seed in our conference, and that kind of thing. But we're familiar with a couple of the kids, and we've seen them play a couple times, so I'm worried about that balance there, but surely I think we'll be okay.
From here on out, after today, win, lose, or draw, you head into the last part of your season. Seeding's coming up, pairings coming up for postseason. What are you looking at as far as trying to get as much as you can, as far as big wins to help you out seed-wise the rest of the way?
Well, just our regional stuff. Wayne City's going to be a big game for us, not just in conference, but also in postseason. We've got another game with Weber that's the conference and postseason matchup. And we'd like to knock off, maybe somebody a little bigger. There's going to be one seed's going to get a little easier road in our regional. So if we could come up with a couple big wins and maybe, sneak into that top spot would be helpful.
Well, and of course, talking about that top spot in the Wayne City Regional, Galatia, a team in that regional, one that you guys played earlier in the year, and I think playing them now, that result would be a lot different. But that's a very winnable regional for 3-4 teams in that regional.
Yeah, Galatia is a really good ball club, and I would like to think it would be a different game when we saw them again. But I think it's winnable, and we've tried to talk about that a little bit to work to get better towards the end of the season and give yourself a chance. And I think we've done that so far.
Final question for you, and I know you got an answer to this one, is our social media question of the week. And this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch for the rest of time, what team would it be?
Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to stick with the Cardinals on that one.
That's kind of a majority answer right now for a lot of people.
Well, I'd have picked Illinois, but I can hardly stomach to watch some of them now, so...
Wow.
I was wondering why you didn't pick Illinois, and I had a feeling for some recent social media postings that I had a feeling that's what you would say when asked about Illinois. So
when you jumped off the bandwagon, did you get hurt at all?
Hey, I'm not off. I'll watch today. As painful as it might end up, I will watch tonight when they play Michigan State. So.
Okay.
I don't jump off the bandwagon. I just keep my eyes closed sometimes.
Sometimes that's the safest route. Matt, good luck to the Lady Cardinals. Stay at the Sandoval Tournament championship game at 2 o'clock against the Mater Freshmen. Best of luck from WMIX.
Thanks a lot, guys.
That's Matt Patterson, of course, head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals. Again, 2 o'clock today, Sandoval Tourney Championship, Mater Freshmen. Also, Weber, I believe, plays today as well. I think they have 3 trophy games today. So that'd be 2, 12:30, 11. Going backwards. Sometimes I can't add time, and that time it just happened to work out, albeit a little slowly. We need to take a break on the Saturday Sports Show. When we come back, we'll talk Mount Vernon Lady Rams basketball with head coach Jeff Lonan. We'll also preview, so to speak. The Carbondale Midwinter Tournament starts on Martin Luther King Day on Monday. This is the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and not as cold today with a rain or snow shower in spots in the afternoon, high near 40. Lingering evening flurries tonight, otherwise clouds will be breaking, low 20. Mostly sunny and windy tomorrow, high 40. Monday will be partly sunny, high 39. And it will turn sharply colder Tuesday. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Rend Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuitions, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Rend Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
He needs no introduction, but you can't see him, so we better introduce him anyway. On the Saturday Sports Show, Mount Vernon Lady Rams head coach Jeff Lonan will join us here. Of course, the show is brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. You're good. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
I was prepared to do it. It's fine. I didn't want to catch you off guard.
Catching up on some cleaning and tidying up the studio.
That was a literal sprint of a 10-meter dash.
That's when you find a Pro V on the golf course. You got to move quick in my group. That's kind of the Pro V sprint.
Oh, man.
You said you couldn't see Jeff Lonan? Is he kind of like Squatch?
Well, I was going to say he really needed no introduction, but since you can't see him, you have to introduce him anyway. Jeff Lonan, good morning.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm a little amped up right now on some things I shouldn't be drinking early in the morning. Of course, an energy drink is what I'm talking about, not a hot toddy or something like that. Didn't want people going that route, but all in all.
Did hot toddy just get mentioned on
Yes.
Okay. Wow. All right.
That is what it is. Anyhow, Lon, and of course, you guys start the week off right with a win on the road at All Top. You guys shot very well over there, and it looks like things are going to go right. And then you have a tough game on Thursday night against the Carbondale Terriers, so you go 1-1 on the week. It was a close one, but all in all, it was a great week, I thought, for Lady Ram basketball. You have a good road win. You have a close game with a team that's also vying for a conference title. But all in all, Thursday night, though it was a loss, I thought was the best I had seen the Lady Rams this season.
Well, we split with those two teams, and that's probably, a lot better than obviously, okay, you guys are done. Sorry, I'm running practice right now, guys, so I'm multitasking. But we split with those two teams, and it would have been nice to get both of them, and we almost did. But it sure was nice to pick the one up against Althoff, and then, know that, if you do get beat by Carbondale, you're not, completely behind the eight ball in terms of the conference. So, now everybody in our conference has a loss. We're the last one left that didn't. So, we've Althoff and Carbondale and us now are all tied at the top, and now what we need to happen is to take care of business from here on out in our last four, and then have the conference beat up on itself a little bit below us, and then we'd be in pretty good shape. And the thing I told the kids was, if we take care of our own business here with these last four, then, we will win the conference, whether it be, a co-conference champion or outright, but we will at least share the conference title. So, we have our destiny in our own hands, and they know that, and I think that I think they'll play their butts off, which they always do. I think that effort's never been a problem with these guys, and regardless of what happens, they'll give it everything they have.
Well, talking about the conference games that remain, you go to Marion, you go to Cahokia, you have Centralia at home, you have Althoff at home. Is there a bit of respite in the sense the fact that you've already played at Carbondale, you've already played at Centralia, you've already played at Althoff, which have historically been three of the toughest places for Lady Rams basketball to play? Or any team?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I really like coming back home for Carbondale, because, typically Carbondale doesn't play as well here as they do at their place, but that was not the case on Thursday night. They really played well, and they got their transition game going, and they just flat wore us out with that. And I think that knowing that you won there and then knowing that you won at Althoff is a big relief, knowing you don't have to go to either one of those places. We'll have to go to Cahokia, and we have to go to Marion, which is, anytime you go on the road, you hate it, but it's certainly nice to have the Althoff and Carbondale trip out of the way for sure. Yeah.
Well, and of course, talking about the week coming up, I guess I should say, the Carbondale Midwinter Tournament. Some very familiar teams in there. Obviously, the host Carbondale Terriers, whom you will not have to play. You have 3 games. It's kind of a 6-team tournament that everybody gets 3 games out of, but it's not really pool play, but it's not really a full round robin. You guys will play Mascoutah, Massac County, and Collinsville, some teams that you're very familiar with, luckily, from having seen them at Nashville.
Yeah, and they've changed the format of that tournament around. It used to be just a bracketed tournament, and you actually had a consolation champion and a champion and third place and all that. And over the years, it's kind of morphed into this kind of, I don't know what you would call this. I would call it just a shootout. But you just basically get 3 games, and at the end, you're either 3-0 or you're 0-3 or you're 1-2 or you're 2-1, and then they just base the winner off of free defensive average, points allowed, and then free throw percentage, I think, is they go to after that. So it's just a shootout. You get 3 games, and Mascoutah's up first, and we played Mascoutah in Nashville after we played in the Massac County on the same exact day. So we played Massac, who can run you to death, and then we had to turn around and play Mascoutah about 4 hours later, and they got us by about 10, and that was a tough day for us. We got beat twice that same day. Looking forward to this game on Monday. I think that number one, we should be a little fresher than we were the last time we played them, and of course they will too. But number two, they have had a couple of injuries that have kind of caused them to go downhill a little bit here in the last 10 games or so in terms of the win-loss column. So I feel like we've got just a really good chance to go down there and compete and possibly win the game. And then Collinsville plays a really, really super tough schedule. I think they're about 2-8 in their last 10 games. But if you look at that, they got beat by like Edwardsville twice, and East St. Louis is in there, O'Fallon was in there, and there's Belleville West was in there, I mean, they're not getting beat by bad teams. They're getting beat by state-ranked top of the line 3 and 4A basketball teams. So Collinsville's going to be tough for us. And then of course Massac County, out of the river is we know about them, and they're going to bring it every night. And their tradition is super, and they're going to be very, very difficult for us. So it's a 3-game stretch that's pretty tough on us. And the one good thing is there's no conference implications in any of these games. If we win, it's great. It pads our record. If we lose, then in the long run, it's not going to hurt us near as bad. But my whole thing is just go down there and compete and give yourself a chance to win. I think we've done a pretty good job of that. I don't think anybody, if you look back at the games we've lost this year, I mean, we don't get blown out. We're there in the end in just about every game we play, if not all of them. And that's what you want. And you give yourself chances, you win a lot more. And, you're more competitive, and your program gets stronger. And there's no blowouts, and you're playing close games, and you're competitive, and all that good stuff. So that's what we want. We just want to pick up some more wins in those close games.
Of course, that brings us to our final question, Coach, the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And this week we're asking if you could, for the rest of your time, if you could only watch one sports team, which team would you watch?
Yeah, is it at any level?
It could be at any level, just for the rest of time.
Oh gosh, any sports team. Yeah, gosh, boy, I don't know. I'm not a giant team worshiper. I just appreciate sports for what they are. I don't get into this. I guess probably the Cardinals, I'd have to say. Because I am a Cardinal fan, but. I enjoy all sports, all teams. I enjoy how different teams play their individual sports and the individuals on those teams, the chemistry that are in the team, and the different styles. No matter what sport it is. So, but I guess if you just push me to one team, I guess the one team I could think of would be the St. Louis Cardinals. You'd probably do that too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because you know me, I'm a fair weather guy. That I just like sports. As far as teams are concerned, I mean, it's hard for me to be devoted. So,
I would probably say the Cardinals, but I just enjoy all types of sports. I enjoy auto racing, as you know, and I enjoy basketball and football. I think we covered last week that I wasn't a real big soccer guy. In your question of the week last week, but for the most part, I enjoy it all, and it's pretty. Not to be a Cardinal fan, though, when you're down from this.
There you
My
go.
official answer is the St. Louis Cardinals, although I enjoy all sports.
There you go. Good logic there, Lon. I know you guys are busy today with practice and freshmen play today, and, of course, a busy week next week, and trying to get prepared for the Carbondale tournament. So thank you for taking the time to join us today, and good luck to the Lady Rams at Carbondale. We will see you Monday night.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
That is Jeff Londen, head coach of the Lady Rams, of course, Monday afternoon. It'll be a 4 o'clock game. 3:45 is your pregame, as the Lady Rams will play Muscuda. We'll have video for that one at WMIXsports.com, where you can listen in on AM 940. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go run down scores another time from the WMIXsports.com scoreboard. It's all coming up here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back up to these.
There's a good reason why Second Chance Auto has been in business for 33 years. They believe in doing business the right way, with honest deals. It's the only way they know. And thanks to Second Chance Auto, you don't have to head out of town to get financing. They offer bank rate financing to everyone. Yes, everyone. You'll find a great selection of quality vehicles with 3-month or 3,000-mile warranties. Come see why they've been successful for 33 years at Second Chance Auto. Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4582.
If you can't pick us up where you live, move. This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
What does technology sound like? Is it the clang of heavy machinery, the beeps and chirps of an electronic gadget? At the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center, technology sounds a little something like this.
It's the sound of a young girl excited because her mom's being released the same day as her minimally invasive surgery. Thanks to the Da Vinci surgical robot, our surgeons' hand motions are seamlessly translated into smaller, more precise movements. But surgery isn't the only way Good Samaritan is raising the bar for advanced healthcare in Southern Illinois.
That's the sound of a patient's health record being updated and stored electronically for immediate access by nurses, primary care doctors, and specialists alike. That's why soon, the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center will use all electronic patient health records. Less paper translates to faster, better care for you. And that sounds a little something like this.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back on a Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Of course, we'll have ADs coming up in just a moment till the 10 o'clock hour approaches. We do need to take a look here on the Saturday Sports Show. Of course, it is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Need to take a look at the WMIXSports.com scoreboard from last night. It's loaded.
Move around to the Valley. Highland beat Mascoutah 66-46, and Waterloo got another nice win over Jersey 53-44. The Apollo last night, if you took the under, Effingham beat Salem 39-19. You won some money in Vegas. Mattoon beat Paris 80-58. And Mount Zion beat Charleston 53-43. Southwestern Conference, Alton comes from behind to upset Edwardsville 59-56. The Beast beat Granite City 42-25. And Collinsville beat Belleville West 60-40. Coquia Conference, Breeze Central beat Redbud 55-32. Freeburg over Carlisle 43-34. And Valmeyer knocks off Steelville in a nice win for Valmeyer 77-72. Let's go Little Illini. Cumberland over Edwards County 60-53. Flora over Oblong 61-45. Lawrenceville beat Newton 59-53. In overtime, Rob Flanagan gets a big win over Casey 63-62. Red Hill beat Hutt Powell 62-60, and Robinson beat Marshall 44-40. For those scores and more, go to WMIXSports.com, hit the scores tab, and you can find everything there nice and neat under date and time.
There you go. Separated by gender. Sometimes conference. It's separated by conference, in my opinion, of course, if they have two or more games that night. If there's not two or more games in the conference that night, it's under non-conference/others. Just a little easier way to keep it neat and clean, as we like to do. Be organized by tournament. And then some schools that don't have tournaments yet will be listed by whatever. We'll figure it out. We like it. It's the WMIXSports.com scoreboard. We like our next guest as well. We like all of our guests, but Ryan Miller, Athletic Director at Benton Consolidated High School, will join us. We'll talk about the BIT. It's 2014. It's coming up next week. Plenty of teams involved. You'll hear about it right here after the break. It's the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Don't just dream about a better job. Go get it with scores of programs that take 2 years, 1 year, or even just a few months to complete. Red Lake College is your gateway to a career you'll love. From nursing to coal mining, from computer programming to cosmetology, and everything in between. Red Lake College is affordable, convenient, and ready to get you trained for your new job fast. Call us at 618-437-5321 or visit us at rlc.edu.
From crucial Midland Trail matchups to the Tournament Trail, you'll find the very best selection of local basketball on the WMIX Sports Basketball Showcase, powered by Community First Bank. Hi, this is Terry Prosize, Vice President from Community First Bank of the Heartland. Find broadcast schedules, live streaming, and archives on WMIXSports.com or listen to your favorite showcase team each game night on WMIX. It's the WMIX Sports Basketball Showcase powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpal Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. So glad you could join us. We're here until 10 o'clock. Right now we're talking with the athletic director at Benton Consolidated High School. He's Ryan Miller. Ryan, good morning.
Morning, guys.
You know what? You're probably one of the busiest guys in local sports. Of course, you help out with some of the sports teams there at BCHS. You're also the athletic director, but probably not a busier time than when the BIT comes around. Of course, getting started on Monday. Probably one of the better, in my opinion, midwinter tournaments there is around.
I think it is. It's we've got a great tradition there, great history, great teams, good coaches, great players, and it's just a great atmosphere for the kids to play in, and we're excited to get it going again.
I'm looking at this tournament, the historic tournament side of it. I mean, these teams you have here, Benton, Pinckneyville, Hamilton County, Oakville, Carlisle, you throw in Cesar, win 2010. It's a who's who of Southern Illinois basketball in the 30 years of the state tournament. How does that add to the tradition of the BIT?
I just think it's just one. It ends up being one story after another. You start stacking up all these teams that have played and these great players, and you listen to people that have watched the BIT over the years, and they can tell you stories from the first BIT games and all of them. It's just really amazing to listen to people talk about it.
I look at the BIT, haven't been around it for a long time, and I look at the teams and everything involved. As the athletic director, I know you get with Coach Ron Weinmiller and try to figure things out. If Cesar, Carroll got out, Cesar got in. As the runner, the person in charge of this tournament, how does this tournament sell itself as far as if there's an opening and people wanting to get in? How does it do that?
I just think the tradition of it, and and playing in Rich Aaron Gym, I think we've got one of the better facilities in Southern Illinois, and it's a great venue to play basketball in. It's a great venue to watch games in. I think it just sells itself pretty well.
Looking at this, how busy of a week will you have in the upcoming week? What are your duties that a lot of people may know or not know behind the scenes?
Oh, it's everything from hanging up signs to tell people where to get tickets and where people are sitting, and the officials, the hospitality room, and just the general game time operations, getting the people to work the games, the gate, ticket takers, security, all that good stuff.
Speaking of good stuff,
it'll be a busy weekend.
How much help you have? Anybody else helping you down there that we know that you know, if you know what I mean?
My secretary helps out quite a bit. She'll be working around selling tickets and things, getting those things ready, and we'll have probably about 15 people that'll really help make this thing go.
Hey, I got to know, how many duties have you assigned to Coach Claude Filler for the next week?
He does not have one yet.
Yet.
I'll find something for him to do before it's all said and done.
Don't you have to? I mean, you got to find a guy like that something to do, because he's one of those who can go out and talk around a little bit and find stuff out. But games on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. One thing about it is, do you think this tournament will ever go to a 5-day format instead of having the 3 games on the weekend? Or do you think it's just here to stay because that's the way it's always been all these years?
I think with travel and things like that, I don't see it ever going to 5 days. I think it's one of those things where I think it helps your team, because you've got to get mentally tough to come out, play a game in the morning. or get on the bus after a Friday night game. Get on the bus, travel, play a game on Saturday morning or early afternoon, and then sit around for a while, come back and play the last session. I think that really is a good mental test for your team.
Final question for you is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch for the rest of time, what team would it be?
Who else? The Chicago Cubs.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
A change, because everybody else has been going Cardinals for a while.
He's just a hater over there.
No way.
See, I learned something being around him. See that?
Well, a lot of people learned something being around him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ryan, we know you're busy, but we thank you for taking the time to join us this morning talking about the always famous BIT. And I know you guys are going to do another great job hosting that this year, and the best of luck with the tournament.
Hey, we appreciate being on, and look forward to seeing you guys.
Amen to that. I believe it's March 31st, the next time I will see you in person as the Mount Vernon Rams baseball team heads to Benton, I think, is the date for the very first game. So
that sounds about right.
If we don't see you before then, we'll see you then. Good luck.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That is Ryan Miller, of course, athletic director at Benton High School, but also helps out with football and baseball as well. So just want the good guys in the business. Of course, we don't usually associate with guys that aren't good. All of them are good here today. Of course, Neil Hammond is the athletic director at Nashville. Oy vey. I probably know what his answer to the social media question is going to be. He'll be on after the break on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and not as cold today with a rain or snow shower in spots in the afternoon, high near 40. Lingering evening flurries tonight, otherwise clouds will be breaking, low 20. Mostly sunny and windy tomorrow, high 40. Monday will be partly sunny, high 39. And it will turn sharply colder Tuesday. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy offers convenience and great service, all for the same cost. Our pharmacy staff is so helpful. They're always ready to answer any questions you may have. You'll never wait hours for your prescription. We'll get you in and out in just minutes. Or, for added convenience, use one of our 2 drive-through windows. For those folks who prefer to stay home, our delivery service will bring the medications to your front door or your workplace. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black to tell you more.
Home delivery does make us stand out from the crowd. Independents like the Medicine Shop offer home delivery. People find that so convenient, and not just seniors, but also busy professionals. Delivery to work or to their home once they get home in the evenings is just a service that sets us apart from our competition, absolutely.
It's so easy to transfer your prescriptions. All it takes is a phone call from you, and we'll take care of the rest. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy accepts Medco, TRICARE, Express Scripts, and many other 90-day plans. The Medicine Shop, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
More Americans are on the move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. So glad to have you with us until 10 o'clock. Jeff Crow in studio with us as well. As we welcome the athletic director from Nashville Community High School, he is Neil Hammond. Neil, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty well. Always love talking about tournaments, and of course the Nashville Invite is no different. It starts, I believe, on Tuesday night, runs through Saturday, but it's one of my favorite 8-team bracketed tournaments in the entire land, and I say that just because of the bulk of talent that'll be showcased in your tournament. Of course, you have Waterloo, Jabot, Mascoutah, Central, of course the Hornets, T-Town, Freeburg, Mater Dei, and Westglen. Probably in terms of Metro East small school basketball, of course 1A and 2A, I mean by that, it is definitely one of the better tournaments around.
Yeah, it has grown to be what we consider one of the best tournaments also. and we have multiple teams that could win this tournament. I think it's a very open field. If you look at previous games that they've played, they've lost to opponents that each person has played, and the other team has won those games. So I think realistically there's multiple teams that could win this tournament.
Multiple teams, and one of the newer additions is Teotopolis in his midwinter tournament. It's kind of been an open door spot for this tournament. Teams from Heron, Trico, Waltonville, Woodlawn over the years have been in it. What's the importance of keeping that spot open as far as having a team to come in all the time like that to kind of keep things going there at NIT?
Well, you try to avoid that as much as you can, but I think due to the amount of talent that's in the tournament, some schools are hesitant sometimes to get into the tournament, afraid that it may affect their record. There's been multiple teams that have come into the tournament. I remember Trico with Matt Badgley many years ago. They had a really, really good team, but they came in the tournament and they weren't hitting on all cylinders, and there was a lot of good competition. They lost 3 games. So, that's the good thing about a bracket tournament. Also, it is 3 games, so you have to come ready to play, or it can be a short stint.
One of the things I like about your tournament, your teams are locally found. Chabot, Mascoutah, Central, Nashville, Mater Dei, Westland, Freeburg. You're going to have a big crowd. T-Town's going to bring their following too. How hard is it to find a seat when it comes down to Friday night into Saturday night as far as the trophy games are concerned?
There is a large crowd. Fortunately, we have a gym that holds 2,200 people. So if you don't have a ticket coming into Friday or Saturday night evening sessions, there's always been room in our new bleachers, which we installed this year. And there's a lot of times that there are teams that will return a few tickets, and you can buy them at the door that are chair seats, that are quality seats. There's not really a chair seat in our gym that's not a good viewing point for a basketball game.
Speaking of the tournament, there's a lot of competition on the floor, but off the floor there's also a lot of competition. Will this year be the continuance of the Best Dressed Coach Award hosted by Bo Meyer all week next week?
Yeah, I think so, and you got to talk to Bo about that more than anything, because he keeps that top secret. That's one of his things that there's really no rhyme or reason to, and if you could ever figure out how they determine that, you let me know.
So you don't even know who's on the committee other than the one-man machine? Is that what you're telling us?
I don't know. They keep that top secret. That's not privileged information for me.
That's good. That's probably good that you don't know some things like that when that voting goes on.
That's true. There's some things I don't need to worry about.
Although I think if you ever wanted to be let in on the secret, you just hide all of the peanut M&Ms in Assembly Hall from Bo, and I think that might give you some leverage.
He may have withdrawals. He may not be able to go on the air, so I did that to him.
Well, that certainly would not be good for the V, which I believe you'll be able to hear most, if not all, of the NIT games on, of course, this week. But, Neil, we thank you for taking the time to join us, but we could not let you go without asking the WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And I fear I know the answer, but this week we are asking which sports team if you could only watch one sports team for the rest of time, which team would it be?
University of Kentucky.
Good job. See, I knew you would do it.
Of course.
And I want to rephrase that. Basketball. University of Kentucky basketball.
Yeah. See, not what we watch Tuesday night, right?
Yep.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly after Tuesday night.
Oh, man. Neil,
I know it.
Thank you
Check
again.
out, don't you?
You're always so clutch. I know DC loves you because you get to talk UK basketball, but you guys do a great job with the tournaments and shootouts that you host. I know the Sports Booster shootout's coming up, and I believe you always announce that after the NIT. So best of luck in your tournament this week. I know you guys will do another bang-up job, and you'll have another successful tournament. Thank you again.
Well, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you guys.
There you go. That's Neil Hammond, Athletic Director at Nashville Community High School. And Sports Booster Shootout, they'll have that coming up, of course, in February. Can't forget about that. But the thing that gets me about UK is that it's only basketball. You guys forget about football. You don't care about baseball. It's always UK basketball. What about the rest of the school?
What?
Exactly. That could actually go both ways. Either legitimately not paying attention to me or
the girls' basketball program is very good. Matthew Mitchell does a great job down there at Lexington with the girls' program.
There we go.
Baseball's pretty salty, too.
Actually, it is. I actually had class at the Ren Lake with a cat that went to play down there.
The rifle team is nationally ranked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to go down that road. They're going to renovate Commonwealth Stadium for football because Coach Stoops is down there, but Got
to do something
That's
first.
just something to do in the fall tailgate to get ready for the real season, which is today against the ugly orange team to our south. Mm-hmm.
Oh, tongue in.
Won't mention them by name, them from the mountains. No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know, because I know somebody at the next Rams home game will be all over me. These two games against this team today become very important. I don't mention names, but yeah, if not, I have to put my head down in the radio box, WMIX.
Nice. We do ask you to participate in the discussion, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, or tweet us your answers. If you could only watch one sports team until the end of time, which sports team would it be? It could be any level, so if you want to say the Mount Vernon Rams or the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals or the Cessford Waltonville Lady Devils or the Goreville Black Cats or the Salem Wildcats or the Fisher Bunnies, whomever. If you want to go high school, you want to go Michigan State, the Spartans, if you might be a recent convert. Anything like that. College, pro, high school, grade school even. Whatever you want to say.
I know my team lost, but boy, that Illinois bandwagon, my goodness, they're fleeing like rats off the ship.
They are.
I thought he was really good. I thought he was the greatest coach ever in November, December.
I don't know. It's Bruce Weber's fault. Is what I keep seeing.
That's no kidding.
I miss Bruce. Anyhow, Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
That's what healthcare should be. I know who doesn't miss Bruce. Bill Self, because he whips him every year.
I miss him. Miss him down south. There we go. We'll take a break, come back. We will talk the CWCIT, that is the Carmi-White County Invitational Tournament, with let's rewind, with Athletic Director Kurt Simon. It's coming up here on the Saturday Sports Show after these.
State Farm Agent Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at TonyWilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
We are all trying to find the best deal. If you're in the minivan market, I believe I've got a deal that cannot be outdone. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. Somehow we have found a few 2013 Chrysler Town & Countries still on the lot. From standard leather to power sliding doors and power liftgate to DVD, these Town & Countries set the standard in the minivan market. We really need to make more room for our growing 2014 inventory, so I want to offer up my best deal of $4,300 off of the Touring L models. If you're looking to upgrade your minivan, you need to take advantage of these deep discounts on any remaining 2013 models while they last. And with incentives like these, they will not be around very long. Hurry in today and see one of our friendly associates at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or always find our inventory online at KingCityChryslerCenter.com.
Plenty of basketball is headed your way as Mount Vernon Rams and Lady Rams find themselves in South 7 showdowns and tournament play. You'll find exciting coverage on WMIX, powered by Community First Bank of Heartland. This is Joanne Joy, Senior Vice President of Community First Bank. Listen to the Rams and Lady Rams on WMIX or watch most games on WMIXSports.com. It's Mount Vernon Rams and Lady Rams basketball from WMIX Sports, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. It's what health care should be. Joining us now is the athletic director of Carmi High School, Mr. Kurt Simon, joins us. And Coach, you keep it warm in Carmi, or how cold is it over there this morning?
Oh, the wind ain't blowing, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad. That's good.
All right.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are warm over there and keeping Mr. Newell in line for me. But we're going to have you on today because we got to talk about the Carmi Invitational Tournament. What a nice tournament over the years this has been at Carmi. Talk about the tournament, what it means to Carmi High School in Carmi, Illinois.
Well, I mean, it's been going on since 1980, so we're in our 35th year. I've been involved in about half of those. It's an event that takes place every year in the middle of January, and I think everyone, not only from Carmi, but everyone in the surrounding area, looks forward to watching a lot of basketball that week.
A little different kind of teams in it. You have, of course, Mount Carmel from the Big 8 in Indiana. You have Harrisburg from the River, of course, Mount Vernon, Indiana, Fairfield from the Black Diamond, along with Carmine. A nice mix of teams, and how hard has it been to keep up those teams over the years at the Carmine Invitational?
Well, I mean, that's been a challenge, to be honest with you. Now, the last, 4 or 5 years, it's been pretty solid with the 5 that we have. Only had to leave when they did their conference change thing up there, but, it's been the 5 teams that we have here in our tournament have always been pretty solid. This year it shapes up to be really good because we got, Harrisburg that's lost about 1 game in the last 2 years, and it was to Fairfield Tuesday, and then we start next week, and, we just played Fairfield last night here, and they got a great team this year, and so that's going to be a good matchup. Mount Carmel is always tough. I think Coach Buss does a great job up there, and they play a little different competition throughout the year in the Big 8 over there. So when they start playing the rest of us, I think they have their confidence level is very high. And then Mount Vernon, Indiana, I mean, they're constantly playing the Evansville schools and the bigger schools, so they're used to another step up, I would say, in competition. So it makes for a really good tournament.
It makes for a good tournament. I like what the fact is. One of the things that you did a few years ago, I believe, was change the format a little bit. Maybe you were the first ones to do this. You actually played a single night. You played Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I thought that's a good move to have because anymore you don't have to win 3 games in 2 days to win that state championship if any of these teams would get that far in postseason.
Yeah, I think it's been a good change all around. I think the coaches enjoy it, and I know we only have 5 teams, but to be honest with you, it got to a point there for a while when we're doing the round robin thing, and people are playing 6 games in a week or consecutive days, and I think the coaches kind of like having a night off now. It's worked out good for us.
Worked out good for you, and I like the format. Of course, 2 games each night at 6 and 7:30 next Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Of course, you finish up with the big rivalry, Carmine and Fairfield at 7:30. I mean, I know Carmine and Fairfield, they're in the same Carmine tournament. They're at the same El Dorado Holiday tournament. I mean, when you're looking for teams, looking for things, how much is a bother to have these guys play each other all the time like this, or is it even a bother?
It's not a bother because the bottom line is, and I think I speak for everybody in rural America, I mean, there's only so many people you can play around here. So the fact, that you're going to play somebody, there's a chance that you may play somebody in this area, in our neck of the woods, so to speak, 4 or 5 times. That's not uncommon. I mean, back in 99, or I guess it was 98, 99 season when we went to the state tournament, and we were 28-4 that year. I mean, we had played Fairfield 5 times. We had played Red Hill 4 times. We had played somebody else 4 times. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we're used to that, and that's pretty commonplace.
Looking at this tournament again, as I said, how many years for the Carmine tournament? I think you mentioned, but how many years?
This will be the 35th.
35th year, and you've been around for half of it. What's the best team you think that has went through that tournament in your time there at Carmine?
Well, I don't know if, I mean, obviously Harrisburg last year was probably the most talented team that we've seen, but I think the most exciting tournament that I can recall was when, I think it was 2005, Weber Township got in our tournament, and they had a really good team that year, and it was just really neat to watch a small school like that come away with the championship. They beat Mount Vernon, Indiana, I believe, and I think it was Mount Vernon, Indiana. They beat in the championship game, and that was a really exciting night. That's the one that I recall.
I know we're talking basketball here on this cold January morning, but football's never far from the thoughts. How is the off season going for Carmine football so far?
Oh, it's going outstanding. I mean, we have basically your off season is a lot of weight room stuff, and our administration at the high school has done an excellent job, and we've moved our athletic PE to the morning. So, I mean, all of our athletes lift, 4 days a week, all year round. And so there's really never a let up, whether you're in season or out of season. We get it done from about 9 o'clock to 11:30 in the morning, and it's been going really good.
That's good to know, and I know we'll talk football with you when August and September rolls around. Before we let you go to this busy week for the Carmine Invitational Tournament, we're going to ask you one final question. It's our social media question a week. And this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch for the rest of time, what team would you pick?
85 Bears.
Right, nice. See, you went backwards. Nobody else thought of that today. That's a good answer.
Oh, there's no question. That was a special year.
Who was your favorite player off that team?
What's that?
Who was your favorite player off that team?
Oh, Walter Payton, without a doubt.
Nice. Were you like many others upset he never got a run for a touchdown that Super Bowl, or did it bother you just because your team won?
It was so exciting when they won. That didn't dawn on me, but it was a lot of fun those couple years up there, and it's amazing when you think about that. And of course, we got some big games tomorrow, but how people, they haven't been back since, or I guess they did get back once against Indianapolis, but it's just it's a game of inches, and you never know when you're going to get there. So.
Yep. Coach, thanks for joining us. We know you got a busy weekend getting ready for the Carmi Invitational Tournament. Thanks for taking time with us. Join us on the Saturday Sports Show today.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
That's Kurt Simon, the athletic director and head football coach at Carmi High School. He helps to host Carmi's Invitational Tournament next week, 5-team tournament next week over Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, Sparta High School athletic director Richie Williams join us here to talk about the 50th annual Sparta Midwinter Classic, one of the long-time running midwinter tournaments in Southern Illinois and around the state. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. It's what healthcare should be. Denny Zwinski here. Jeff Crow pushing the buttons. Chris Hugo in the studio. Joining us now is the athletic director at Sparta High School, Mr. Rich Williams. Mr. Williams, how are you this morning on this cold Saturday?
Great, Danny. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's that time of year, midwinter time, and one of those tournaments that has gotten so much better over the years and has been going on now. This will be the 50th edition to Sparta Midwinter Classic. One of the most underrated tournaments, I think, in Southern Illinois, for a tournament that has a lot of good things going for it at Sparta High School.
Well, thank you, Danny. We're pretty proud of it. It is our 50th anniversary this year, and anytime you can keep an event running that long, you know that you have to have some, a lot of good, hard-working people and a lot of people behind the scenes to make it go. But, we started our tournament in 65, and Sparta beat Carbondale in 4 overtimes in the first tournament, and that was a round robin. And then the next year we went to the 18 format, and ever since then we've either had an 18 bracket tournament, 2 pool tournament, or a 16 round robin tournament.
the idea to expand and get more teams, I think, has been the key to Sparta, adding the likes of Trico, Waterloo, amongst others, a great mix of 1A, 2A, and 3A schools. How does that mix help the quality of your tournament as you begin again next week for the 50th time?
Well, it really helps because we've got a little local flavor with Redbud, Sparta, Stillville, and Trico being a local schools, and then we've got a little, DuQuoin has come. They've come since the mid-'60s off and on, so they've been a long-time member of the tournament. And then we've got Waterloo that plays a predominantly 3A schedule that comes down from the Metro East area. And then we've got the Murfreesboro Red Devils, who always seem to have a good January run in them. And then also we've got another Metro school in Dupo, which is a newcomer to our tournament last year.
And looking at your bracket, you've got everything divided up. Pool A is Sparta, Dupo, Redbud, and Waterloo. A very nice mix of 1 to 3A schools. And you have Trico, DuQuoin, Murphy, and Steelville. A nice job of keeping everybody away from each other as far as conference and maybe regular season games recently played by all these schools.
Well, we try to, Danny. We try to do the best we can because we've got several conference schools from different conferences in the tournament. So, we try to keep everybody away from each other until the final day. And then, you can't control who plays who then. It's just however it plays out.
With the number of teams that you have and the turnover in tournaments, and there's so many tournaments today, for our listeners for the Sparta tournament, has it been hard to keep teams in or get teams, or has it been decently easily over the years to keep this tournament going with the number of teams you have?
Well, there were some years in the late 90s, around that time that we struggled a little bit to get teams, because there are just so many midwinter tournaments. At one time, Salem had a midwinter tournament, Chester had a midwinter tournament, and Sparta had a midwinter tournament. Those were really the only three around. And then, with the advent of the BIT, which I think is a tremendous tournament, and then the West Frankfort tournament and the Massachusetts County Superman Shootout, there just became more and more January tournaments. So it was harder and harder to get schools, 8 quality schools to come to your tournament, along with the Nashville tournament, which is really strong every year. So, several of those schools came to Sparta for a long time before these other tournaments, got started. And then as they got started, then it was harder to get schools. But we've been very fortunate the last 8 or 9 years to have 8 teams.
So many different tournaments you've been a part of, coaching or working for or otherwise. With Sparta notwithstanding, what tournament to you stands out the most around this time of year is one of those that, besides Sparta, what's another tournament that really gets your eye as far as a great tournament?
Well, the BIT. I mean, just the history of the BIT and the tremendous teams and coaches that have went through there and the state history of the teams that have played in the BIT. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And then there's nothing like playing at Max Morris Gymnasium at West Frankfort. There's just something about the ambiance of that gymnasium. It's just an old-fashioned basketball gymnasium, and when it's packed, it's really rocking there, too.
If one were to go over to Sparta and jump in a restaurant and throw out the question, best player and or best team to play in the Sparta tournament, what answers could I get?
Well, there's been some tremendous players. Alan Cruz in the early 60s was a really good player that played here. Erwin Claggett played here from the metro area. Danny Beard from Sparta played here, and he went on to play at Kansas State. We've had some tremendous players and some really good teams. I mean, Dennis won the state in the mid-'70s, and they won our tournament. We've had some other schools that have won the tournament over the years that also had some state history. So, we've been real fortunate to have some pretty good history in our tournament.
Very nicely done, and we know you're busy. Got a lot of things going on today, but before we let you go, we'll ask you our WMIX Sports social media question of the week this week, and this week's question is, if you could only pick one sports team to watch the rest of time, what would it be?
Probably the Green Bay Packers.
Really? I did not know that about you.
Right. Yeah, I've been a Packer fan all my life.
I did not know. So, if of all the teams, all the players, what one grabbed your sight as your favorite player or team of all time, Green Bay?
Well, probably Coach Lombardi's 66 and 67 teams. So those are probably the two of the favorites that I like to read about and hear about, mainly because of his success as the head coach and what he's meant to the National Football League.
Coach, that's a very nice pick. That's one of those that hasn't been picked. And, Coach, we appreciate the time you took with us this morning. We know you got a busy day, busy week coming up, but we appreciate you joining us talking about the Sparta tournament.
Well, I appreciate it, Danny, and thanks for having me on.
Okay, thank you. That's Rich Williams, the AD at Sparta High School. The Sparta Invitational Tournament begins on Tuesday, the 50th annual, one of the longest-running midwinter tournaments here in Southern Illinois. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more about some other tournaments as we wrap up the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. It's what healthcare should be.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview and Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
Did your bank recently stop offering free checking? People's National Bank still has free checking with the added convenience of a Visa check card, online banking, bill pay, money pass, and mobile banking. Stop by People's National Bank located at 522 Main Street in Mount Vernon, Illinois today for details on how to get your free checking account. People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC. Non-usage fees may apply.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than the Chevy Impala. We actually have customers that come in that are comparing that car to BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and it's blowing them away. You really need to come in and take the new Impala for a test drive. You know, the Impala's been a great seller, our number one selling car for many years, and I see that continuing into the future with the new 2014.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. As always, it's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Of course, we wound through all of our athletic directors and our coaches talking about midwinter tournaments today, and tournaments are popping up all over the place. Of course, Triad hosting a tournament this year, Triad Nights, Oakdale, Missouri. A couple of Valley teams in there. Collinsville's supposed to be coming in next year, but it's like we're seeing the invention of more and more new tournaments taking away from other tournaments. Of course, some tournaments could also be starting next year and more popping up, but there's still a lot of strong tournaments in Southern Illinois. I thought we talked about the bulk of them with athletic directors. West Frankfort does something kind of neat where what they actually do, we have the Midland Trail Tournament, of course, coming this week. I like what West Frankfort does, I suppose. It's kind of confusing, but at the same time, I think it's really neat where you have the girls and boys midwinters intertwined at the same time.
Everybody's trying something new because I think there's so many stagnant tournaments and there's so many popping up and people can't find games. I mean, we only talked about, Mount Vernon, Salem, Carbondale, and then we went into, the Midland Trail Girls Tournament, the Sandoval Girls Tournament. Then we had Nashville, Carmi, Benton, Sparta, and then there's the Midland Trail Boys Tournament this week. There's a Triad Boys Tournament. There, as we go down the list, you have the Salem's in my way and won't get out of the way on my papers now. I mean, there's so many. Litchfield's got a tournament. And then you go down the list, West Frankfort Boys and Girls, Jerseyville, Massac County. I mean, there's enough paper to kill a tree around here, or trees, because everybody's got one. And Carterville's girls wrap up today with 10 games. Interesting format there. There is not a champion, second, third, or fourth place team there. Everybody plays everybody. You could have 2 or 3 teams go undefeated in that thing this week. But, so many tournaments, so many things going on. Then you got the LIC tournament the week after this coming week. You have the GEC tournament that next week. Got the SEC tournament going on. I mean, there are so many tournaments going on this time of year. It's almost like, I think this time of year is almost as bad, if not worse, than Christmas.
Oh, I'd say worse. Christmas, outside of your couple that may take place before, St. Elmo, Conrad Allen, the bulk of them are just after the Christmas holiday. This, with some of your conference tournaments, Midland Trail notwithstanding, which is next week during Midwinter Tournament Week, as I call it, you have the conference tournaments you just mentioned the following week. But when you take a look, Midland Trail Tournament, of course, is coming up this coming week. We'll have some coverage from that. But, Woodlawn gets the 1 seed, Odin's the 2 seed, Wayne City's the 3 seed, Sisney the 4, Waltonville the 5. Thinking. North Clay, I know, is the 7. Grayville the 8, Sandoval the 9, Weber the 10. Whomever I'm forgetting is the 6 seed. Clay City is a 6 seed. Can't forget about Clay City. They're the 6 seed. Wayne City just played them last night. Of course, they'll play them again as a 3 seed. But you look at the tournament, and I think you have an overwhelming favorite. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, I guess, at this point, that the Woodlawn Cardinals, unless something, were to happen, or maybe, say the Waltonville Spartans, who I thought were going to be the 3 seed, ended up getting the 5. That sets up for a possible semifinal matchup if they upend Sisney on Tuesday night on the road. So that'd be a rematch of a semifinal from last year. But, I mean, all in all, you look to some of the Mid-South teams to possibly dominate again this year, as we've seen year in and year out with the Midland Trail Conference Tournament.
Could be. I mean, it's Woodlawn's to lose at this point as far as what's been going on in the world of Midland Trail Conference Tournament, basketball and whatnot. So, it's very interesting, and, can anybody step up? I think you'll see some very exciting games other than those on the other sides of brackets over at North Clay, and as this week goes on.
Yeah, and it's always a fun time to be able to go to North Clay High School. We're hoping to do as much coverage as we can. Obviously, we know we have Tuesday night covered. Wednesday obviously depends on what happens Monday and Tuesday. Thursday, we're hoping to get possibly an all-county semifinal clash on WMIX on Thursday night, hoping that works out. But, we'll be there as much as we can. But it's a great tournament. We're treated well. The teams, to my knowledge, are treated well. And, taking a look at some of the seeds, maybe some surprises. But that's a tough one to seed this year, given the lack of conference games that teams have been able to play due to the winter weather. So seeds may or may not play out in that one, leaning heavily towards may not.
Yeah, luckily we're just getting the tournament in without any winter weather. It's going to be cold, but not much precipitation on the horizon this week. Try to bother things.
Yeah, I mean, the initial projections were not looking good a few weeks ago for maybe another batch of winter precip, of course, this week. But looks like things are going to hold off, and the midwinter tournament should be unscathed, and we're looking very forward to that. And, of course, should be another good Midland Trail Conference tournament. Should be great tournaments all around Southern Illinois. I mean, I feel like the tournaments we've talked about are the tournaments you think about when you think about midwinter. Highland Girls probably the lone exception as far as teams.
That starts today.
Yeah, that actually started, I believe, at 9 o'clock with number 1 Central versus Cowden Herrick Beecher City.
Right.
So, I mean, when you think of girls' tournaments, I mean, Highland midwinter is probably the first to come to mind.
That's the one. I mean, there are other tournaments obviously going on or whatnot, but Highland's always been that measuring stick of teams as far as who or what or who, as far as what goes on. So, I look at it, and Highland is a good test. If, Bree Central can roll through there and win, you got to consider them for Bloomington to be the one team that gets to go to, Bloomington be the favorite, at least in 2A down here.
You know what? I told everybody 3 years ago Holiday Basketball Headquarters was the worst thing to happen to that, because now you can't find what you need to find. We need to find it, but that's okay. Nobody listened to me at the time. Doesn't matter. Highland tournament, of course, is a good one, and we expect it to remain good. And you look at all the teams. Some of the dominant girls basketball programs participate in that tournament. Of course, Superman Classics coming up. It's a busy time of year, and you have a lot of great tournaments popping up. But Superman Classics, one that probably doesn't get a lot of love down in Metropolis and Massac County. That's another great midwinter tournament. I know Carbondale, after a big win last night, they were already in the number 1 seed, but that's a team I think you have to fear in that Superman Classic.
That Superman Classic's always been good because they usually get a good mix of people and teams and whatnot, whether it's Southern Illinois, Metro East, Kentucky. You got to mix and match some teams in. You have Carbondale's the 1 seed playing Century. Callaway County, Kentucky plays Charleston, Missouri. Of course, Charleston, Missouri, traditionally a very good team. Massac-Tillman, that's a game of rivalry proportions. And then Meridian, Union County in the lower bracket. I mean, Meridian and Century look a little lost in this tournament. Meridian needs a tournament more than Century does, but Century wasn't too bad to successful their holiday tournament. But, that's a tough little tournament for a team like Century to be in. But Meridian can give some run, and if Tillman's got anything from Massac, that'll be interesting. You got 4 from Illinois, 3 from Kentucky, and 1 from Missouri. So a very nice mixed batch of teams down there where Massac's located geographically speaking.
Well, it is. And, Carbondale to go down to that one. Carbondale, in my opinion, is that the best tournament for them to be in? Maybe, maybe not. I think there's a couple of question marks, in my opinion. But it's still a good tournament. You have of course, with Massac now in 3A. Tillman's always a good test, having seen them at the Centralia Holiday Tournament. But, Carbondale... what a season they are having, just 2 losses on the year and just having a phenomenal year thus far, getting a big road win last night at Cahokia. But all in all, it's midwinter time, and I think this is kind of where you start to see a little bit more separation from the contenders and pretenders.
You get to see some different things. I think, obviously, what happens is you start seeing some teams separate themselves, you said. Now you're getting down to crunch time. Once this coming week and the week after gets done, basically – you're down to about a month of the season, less than that for girls basketball, and the seedings will start going on and pairings will go on. And again, this is the time of year where this is your last shot to fill your resume to try to impress somebody, because ever since the system changed where you're not in the room talking with your peers, you're sitting behind a computer, you got to have something to maybe kind of influence that, because more likely than not, you're not going to get what you think as far as that goes.
Well, that, and it's a little bit easier to team up and leave somebody out now. Just the few back table text messages. I mean, it's that simple when you don't have to meet face-to-face, and you're going to see that happen more often than not now. But, the Midwinter Tournament week coming up, of course, Monday, Carbondale Midwinter Tournament, Salem Invitational Tournament, Midland Trail Conference Tournament. We'll have coverage from all 3 of those on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. You can find our broadcast schedule on the aforementioned website, but really... I don't know about you, if you have a favorite midwinter tournament, of course. I've always liked Salem. Of course, they've had the same 3 champions since 1987. I think Charleston was the last non-Edwardsville, Mount Vernon, or Centralia to win it back in 86.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked Benton. A lot of history there. Frankfort has a lot of history, of course, because of the gymnasium alone. I know a lot of people love Max Morris Gymnasium. But all in all, with some of these popping up, you kind of wonder about the future of some of these. There's more popping up next year, allegedly, that's going to take teams from tournaments. So you wonder how those teams are going to feel. You wonder how the dominoes are going to fall. Things are just, in my opinion, very kind of unstable right now in the world of high school sports, with conferences and tournaments and shootouts and things like that.
Well, at least right now, it's kind of unstable. I think the environment, the atmosphere that's going on right now is... where's this conference situation going to go? And, we look at it as what we thought 2 weeks ago, what we see today is not the same, and what we may be talking about 2 weeks from today probably won't be the same. There's new things popping up every day. People are talking, chatting. Of course, we would be remiss if we did not mention that DuQuoin and Alvarado agreed to the co-op this past week for football. So starting this fall, Alvarado will play with DuQuoin in football. This means Alvarado is not in the Black Diamond. They will play with DuQuoin football, but will be a member of the SEC, which is Meridian and Cobden and those schools of that nature. So that leaves Trico hanging in the wind as a remaining school in the Black Diamond. The rule is no football, no conference. So you have to wait and see what happens as far as that goes. Would that mean that they would kick Trico out? I think the overwhelming majority is. What would happen then? Do you fill in, and who do you get? Do you have to go 8 football games, 9 teams, go get a non-conference, or are you going to really dig and look for that 10th team just to have 9 football games? And until the IHSA changes the system, that's the way it's going to be. But boy, there's a lot of questions going on right now. The Diamond's going to have to meet and talk about the Trico Goreville Alvarado situation because they made Goreville have football. Going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Well, it's going to be very interesting. And when you take in consideration, you can't amend the bylaws now 6 years after telling Cairo, or 5-6 years after telling Cairo to take a hike for not having football.
And telling Goreville you got to have it.
Right. I mean, Goreville co-ops with Vienna and football, so that's their route in. And it's interesting to see. And in terms of what type of outside-the-box thinking is going to happen with these situations. And I know there's a lot of questions, more questions than answers, obviously, right now. If one team gets in, is that going to upset another team, and people not understanding why that would upset another program? Basically, nobody really knows for sure because things are changing so much as far as by the minute, because it doesn't take long for feelings to get hurt or egos to be bruised or egos to begin to develop. And, you're going to see some knives in backs, too, with these types of situations. So it'll be nice to see.
You look at the fact that if all these teams start to change conferences and all these teams get mixed around, then the question becomes, from the basketball perspective, tournaments are going to take hits. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and midwinter, because you won't want same teams, same this, you won't want this team in because that team's over there, or this team here because that team's there. People might get in and out of tournaments based on if they get out of a conference that has a tournament, they might be able to find a midwinter now they can get into. So all this stuff going on now is going to affect more than just two conferences. It's going to affect a handful of more conferences and other sports as well.
Exactly right. And I think that's going to be critical when these things are announced. Again, we talk about being proactive. You've got to be proactive in this situation. And I don't want to say proactive to get what's yours, but it's better to get what's yours than be left behind wondering what you're going to do. It's tough enough to schedule as it is. If you have to go the independent route or can't find a conference or can't find a dance partner, it's going to be a very nightmarish type situation for some of these schools. And, we're saying that just about everybody's going to be impacted. Certainly most conferences will be impacted by something that happens if some of what our sources are reporting come to fruition and what we're hearing. But it changes by the minute, it changes by the hour, and it certainly has changed since we talked to you last week here on the Saturday Sports. So it'll be interesting. Saluki Shootout, of course, is today. We will be there at the SIU Arena as the Waltonville Spartans battle the Christopher Bearcats. 6 o'clock tip time, I believe, brings you a 5:45 pregame on WMIX FM. Audio at WMIXsports.com as well, should you want to listen. Of course, we have Midland Trail coverage coming your way this coming week. We have Lady Rams basketball at Carbondale coming your way this coming week. We'll let you know about Friday night. We can assure you that barring any changes, we will be there Monday and Saturday morning. Friday night obviously depends on what happens everywhere else, just in terms of equipment, talent, station availability. Kind of crazy. There's things you have to think about there. Should probably put station availability first, because usually it takes that to make that happen. Of course, equipment and people help. But I digress. We'll try to do our very best, as we do every year, to bring you the very best coverage of the Mount Vernon Rams, the WMIX Sports Basketball Showcase, and the Mount Vernon Lady Rams as well. Should be another interesting show next week. Of course, I'm sure we'll have some more midwinters to talk about as some of the other conferences get into tournament play. Of course, we'll recap what is going on in the tournaments we are covering, as well as the midwinter tournaments will be headed to Championship Saturday. That's next week on the Saturday Sports Show. Of course, Conference Championship weekend, or Sunday tomorrow. Of course, the AFC game, Denver Broncos, New England Patriots. It'll be Peyton versus Brady another time. Then on the NFC side, of course, the early game, I believe San Fran and Seattle. Or no, it's the other way around, San Fran and Seattle at night. So it should be a good Sunday tomorrow for the NFL, and look forward to watching some games. You can always stay up to date on Twitter at WMIX Sports, or find us on Facebook. If you're looking for archives of past WMIX Sports broadcasts, simply log on to WMIXsports.com. We're already updated as of last night. Of course, we'll have the Saturday Sports Show on in a jiff. Thank you for tuning in this week. For everyone at WMIX Sports, we hope your week is a great one. We hope you tune into the showcase tonight, the Waltonville Spartans and the Christopher Bearcats. This is WMIX Mount Vernon. See you next week.